The meeting has been started.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our quarterly meeting, December 13th, 2024. It's the fourth quarterly public meeting of the year. I want to welcome all of my colleagues and staff and our speakers to this last quarterly meeting of the year. Can we please have the public notice statement, Madam Secretary?
Good morning. Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice have been posted at the board's office and website, and emailed to the Department of State, into newspapers of board circulation within the state.
Thank you. Can I have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Crystal DeLune.
Here.
Commissioner Abdul.
Here.
Commissioner Bange.
Here.
And President Gould-Sadovy.
Here. Thank you. So in addition to our quarterly public meetings, we also have many public forums year-round at the Board of Public Utilities. And so we look forward to your input on various subject-specific initiatives that we're working on, both through those venues and also today. We really do value the input of the public, our industries, our stakeholders and residents, businesses. So please do continue to participate in those opportunities to get your input heard by the BPU. Our next board meeting is Wednesday, December 18th. That's next week at 10 a.m. It will be the last meeting of the year in the Joe Fiordaliso boardroom at the BPU. It will also be live streamed. For today's meeting, we would ask that you keep comments brief. If you do have lengthy testimony, please do send all your written comments to the board secretary by January 17th, 2025. We also note that all commenters should avoid speaking on matters that are contested before the board, although, welcome to raise general policy issues. We welcome all of our attendees, but only pre-registered speakers will have the ability to speak today. So if you did not sign up to speak today, we encourage you to come to our next public meeting, our next quarterly meeting. We don't have the chat feature enabled and cannot accommodate speaking ability for anyone who did not pre-register to speak in today's meeting. It will be live streamed and available to watch online, just as our other agenda meetings. So before we get into our statements from the public, I just want to acknowledge and reflect on some things that as we approach the end of the year and our coming 2025, I want to just start with saying thank you to my colleagues on the board and to our staff at the BPU. Everything that we do really is reliant on the dedication and hard work of the staff of the BPU. And so I want to give a special acknowledgement to all of those members of our BPU team who work so hard throughout the year. I hope you're getting some time off at the end of the year to relax and rest. I want to just, point out a few of the things that I think that we've done this past year that are so important for the residents of New Jersey, starting with our utility assistance days, because we had one yesterday in Bridgeton in South Jersey. Throughout the year, we have held these utility assistance days to help residents get support, filling out applications, learn about the utility assistance programs, and we're going to continue to do that next year. We have helped thousands of people through those assistance days in person, and we will continue again to hold those utility assistance days throughout the year. So important now in the winter as we see the cost of heating going up, to make sure that all residents have those resources available to them. Another thing I just want to point out that I think was a significant achievement for this year was our residential energy assistance payment. We supplied over 278,000 residents with a $175 bill credit at the end of the summer at a time when we saw rising costs associated with electricity. So that was, I think, a really great achievement, and so many others that if we had to list them today, we would be here well into the afternoon. And since we're only here until 12 o'clock, I'm going to close my opening remarks. Do any of my colleagues have opening remarks that they would like to share? Okay, then We will now begin the public comment window. Again, we would ask that you keep your comments brief and please be sure not to raise anything that is contested before the board. We have Lauren from our communications team who will announce and unmute each speaker. Lauren, whenever you're ready.
Yes, our first registered speaker is Gaylord Olson. You may now unmute your mic to speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Thank you. I don't have a very good connection right now. I'm using my iPad, but I want to make a very brief mention of something that's kind of new, and I think it would be very useful to the gas utilities. I'm an engineer, and there's currently a team of engineers in England at a university that are looking into the use of the natural gas pipelines for distribution of water to water source heat pumps. This opens the door to the natural gas utilities to stay in business and expand and not use natural gas in their pipes. And so they are seriously working on this with a team of engineers supported by the natural gas utility in England. So they are very serious about doing it. And I think there might be other ways to do it beyond the way they've found are studying. And I would like to communicate what I know to people who are involved in the natural gas utility business. I can be reached by phone or email, and I'll send the information that on what they're doing in England, and be happy to share it and discuss it with anybody else. That's really what I wanted to say this morning.
Thank you. That sounds really interesting. Please do share what you have with the Secretary's office. We will. It will come to all of the commissioners and the appropriate staff as well. So thank you so much.
Okay, our next registered speaker is Paulina O'Connor. You may now unmute your mic to speak.
Good morning to the board members and BPU staff. I'm Paulina O'Connor, and I lead a nonprofit advocacy project called the New Jersey Offshore Wind Alliance that serves as a resource and voice of the offshore wind industry in the state. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today about an issue that is critical to New Jersey's energy future, and that's offshore wind. Thanks to the BPU's leadership, the governors, and the EDAs, New Jersey has made remarkable progress in establishing itself as a leader in offshore wind. The policies and investments are already creating jobs, fostering economic growth, and positioning our state as a hub for renewable energy innovation. It also puts us on track to establish energy independence. Therefore, we cannot afford to slow down. And we take an all of the above approach to a healthy energy landscape and understand that in order to establish a resilient and renewable power grid, a diverse portfolio is critical. So thank you for all your hard work, and we hope that you stay the charted course in 2025. From our perspective, continuing to support offshore wind projects and related infrastructure that makes them possible is essential to meeting our state's clean energy goals and reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, in turn, fighting climate change and creating a healthier and cleaner air and environment. It's also critical for maintaining grid reliability and ensuring a resilient energy system in the face of growing challenges, including climate change and, of course, rising electricity demand, a demand that is growing and outpacing supply. As I mentioned, diversifying our energy mix with more domestic energy will stabilize bills and bring more affordability to New Jersey ratepayers. With long-term fixed price contracts, adding offshore wind to the mix will help insulate consumers from swings in energy prices while providing the much-needed generation. And I'll address the elephant in the room. As the new federal administration enters office, we strongly believe the industry will help advance the President-elect Trump's stated goals of American energy dominance. by producing more energy in the US, revitalizing domestic manufacturing and putting Americans to work. We have
Paulina,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to ask you to wrap up your comment in the next minute or so.
Sure. We believe there's common ground and a shared vision, and we're hopeful for continued support for offshore wind. And lastly, I'll say that the success of the industry requires leadership and a shared commitment, and I urge the board to maintain its support for offshore wind. Thank you so much, and happy holidays.
Thanks, Paulina. We are certainly committed in Governor Murphy's administration to our offshore wind goals. So appreciate your comments. Also hope to look towards the new administration and partnership going forward. So thanks. Go ahead, Lauren.
Our next registered speaker is Kirk Frost. Kirk, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Good morning. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, dear President and Commissioners of the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, I want to thank the NJBPU leadership and staff for their work this year and also kicking off the EMP update. I also think the suggestion that using natural gas pipelines for heat pumps is an awesome idea, and I hope you consider it. Alarm bells should be going off for New Jersey, and we've seen it even some of the resilient projects that are being engaged right now. With the new federal administration starting in January 2025, there's going to be more fossil fuel production and consumption, and that's going to be an issue. We have one NOAA methane atmospheric concentration site in New Jersey. NOAA currently reports the atmospheric concentration of methane globally as 1930 parts per billion. In Cape May at 7,000 meters, it's 1960 parts per billion with a spike over 2,000 parts per billion. At 5,000 meters, it's 1970 parts per billion with a spike over 2040 parts per billion. Down to 1,000 meters, it's 2020 parts per billion and spikes over 2,100 parts per billion. So it's going up, and as you get to lower down to the ground, it's higher. So the concentrations are significant here. What I'm finding, I think what I want to just say is that I wish that board commissioners would consider having an EMP program management team that reads out at every quarterly meeting so that the public and also NJBPU board members will have key measures in terms of the performance measures for the projects that are being engaged and key measures on capacity utilization for natural gas transitioning to renewables and storage. We need to have a priority project to fast track heat pump replacement of natural gas furnaces within New Jersey, more aggressively funding to enable homeowners to afford it. I can't afford it. I really wish I could. We need to rapidly deploy distributed storage at homes and businesses. And I know the EMP is just considering that now, but it needs to happen quickly. We're behind, and that's a critical part of getting off of natural gas. We also need to aggressively enable solar everywhere, not just out to businesses. If homeowners want to put more on their house or in the backyard and have the place to do it, we should be enabling that. And this way it becomes a more distributed grid that's not dependent on outside energy. Storage and renewable are critical components in construct for getting off of natural gas. If the commissioners enact on this suggestion now, we will have a better, clear, defined deliverables and costs for enabling New Jersey to transition now instead of stating in terms of 20 and 30 years. I really appreciate your time and the effort that you're doing, and I will send this in the document about the NOAA readings because I think it's important. Thank you.
Thank you. So just want to point out that the administration has actually doubled solar capacity since the beginning of 2018. So I would say in terms of aggressively supporting solar, we have done that. And I think probably most people know we have an energy storage proposal out right now for battery storage. And there are also incentives for heat pumps. And we have been working with the federal government to work through some of those additional incentives from the IRA. So looking forward to rolling those out as well. Thank you.
Our next registered speaker is Robert DeDomenico. You may now mute your mic to speak.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Thank you. So my name's Robert DeDomenico. I'm the founder and CEO of Cargo Fish LLC. And what we do is we develop the world's next utility system, and the New Jersey BPU will regulate it once it's implemented. Since last we spoke, I have been working approximately 50 or 60 hours a week on physical prototype development. I'm at the Angel Venture Fair event in Philadelphia today, where I already spoke, and I did bring the new drive unit, which is lightweighted and made from aluminum and plastic instead of brass and stainless steel, and solved a couple of remaining deficiencies, issues with that came from, as designs change. But as I indicated before, this is a new utility system that can move a 20-pound payload a mile on the same energy it takes to start a car. This system goes about 1,000 miles on a kilowatt hour, carrying a 20-pound payload, compared to 3 miles on a kilowatt hour for a typical electric car. And nobody has to do any driving. Now, I'm here to speak today because my pitch paper to the National Science Foundation was accepted, and my application deadline is the 5th of March. And I'm about to pour a lot of time and effort into developing the application. And I would urge anyone from the BPU to direct somebody from the BTU to reach out and contact me to learn about why this may merit a letter of support for this grant application. This grant application is $305,000 and includes a salary for the principal investigator. I have been working without salary for close to 15 years, and since I retired in December. So I got to wrap it up.
I just want to, if that is what you're asking for, if you could just send that in writing through the secretary's office. I'm not sure this is the venue to discuss the BPU doing a letter of support on that. But
okay.
You could certainly send a letter.
Okay, will do. And I do want to remind you that this will be on public display. We are on track to put a demonstration grade prototype. We've completed 400 feet of additional track at a material cost of about $13.50 a foot, but we put a lot of labor into it because we got to do it the hard way. We don't have the capital to do it the better way. We have the rail now. We have a mile of rail for less money than it would have cost me for the material. So it's all going good.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to ask you to wrap up your comment so we can move on to the next one.
If you could direct that letter to Stacy Peterson, that would be helpful. She's our deputy executive director, and so she'll be responding to you.
To Peterson, her first name is
Stacy. She's here on the meeting. Thank you.
Excellent. I'll do the.
Okay, our next registered speaker is Ryan Campbell. Doesn't look like he is on. So moving on to Emma Marshall. Emma, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Hi, Emma.
Sorry, I have no comments.
Okay.
Oh, I apologize, Emma. Okay, moving on to the next registered speaker is Tina Carton. Tina, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
Hello, my name is Tina Carton, and I'm on the grant development team for ChargePoint. And ChargePoint has been started in 2007, and before electrical vehicles even hit the road, and we are now one of the largest pure play EV charging providers dedicated solely to EV charging across every use case. As the governor proudly announced 3 days ago, New Jersey has reached a significant milestone by surpassing 200,000 electric vehicle registrations, demonstrating increased consumer confidence in these vehicles and the availability of charging infrastructure. The state's success in EV growth has been driven by the collaboration and funding provided by the Board of Public Utilities, the Department of Environmental Protection, and the Economic Development Authority. These incentives have encouraged both consumers and businesses to make the switch to electric vehicles and increase the number of charging ports in the state. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities Electric Vehicle Tourism Program is important to help meet demand and reduce range anxiety for tourists traveling to key New Jersey tourist sites, landmarks, and other areas of interest. ChargePoint has installation contractors and partners, as well as customers who look forward to the notice of award of the EV tourism grant. Can the board provide any updates on the funding for this program that closed May 30th, that we could assist and help customers understand where the potential of the funding coming this year or potentially next year? Thank you very much. And I understand if this is something under consideration or on your agenda and you're not able to discuss it. Thank you.
Yeah, so that would be part of our clean energy program budget. So I don't think that this would be the time to discuss it, but certainly, Tina, if you want to follow up and talk through with our staff, that, you can do that. I don't think this would be the time to do it.
Okay, our next registered speaker is Charlie Coggeshall. Charlie, you may now mute your mic to speak.
Great, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great, thank you. This is Charlie Coggeshall. I'm the Mid-Atlantic Regional Director for the Coalition for Community Solar Access. CCSA is a national trade association with over 100 member companies across the country that are engaged in some aspect of community solar market activity. In New Jersey, we have nearly 30 member companies that are invested in or engaged in the state's community solar program. I do want to say thank you for providing these quarterly meetings where stakeholders can chime in and have a little one-on-one direct time with the commissioners. It is a unique option that other states don't provide. And I think it's really excellent resource and tradition that you have in New Jersey here. I won't take much time. I just want to highlight that the community solar program, the permanent program, has now been in place about a year and is off to the races, and has had a very successful past 12 months with nearly all of the initial 500 megawatts that was allocated awarded to projects that are going to be coming online here over the next year or so, and providing not only clean energy to the state, but also real tangible reductions in electricity costs for the participating customers, of which at least 51% will be low and moderate income customers. So it really is achieving not only clean energy goals, but also equity goals for the state. We understand that the BPU is doing a kind of 1 year look back at the program and considering if changes might be appropriate at this point. And for CCSA, we would just caution making changes at this point, in part due to the fact that a lot of that capacity that came so rapidly in response to the program over the past 12 months was for projects that had been kind of pent up, I would say, for several years between the pilot program and the permanent program, in waiting for the opportunity for the permanent program to open up. So that pent up demand was sort of unleashed, and we think kind of the lower hanging fruit has been seized upon, and that frankly now it will be more challenging going forward for the industry. And the hosting capacity available, the kind of sites available will become more constrained. So we don't view kind of things getting easier. Probably they're going to get harder in New Jersey, and that is compounded by the fact that the election results has thrown in some uncertainty into tax incentives at the federal level, tariffs on products that go into these solar panels and other aspects of the installation that could impact the economics for the projects. So we just want to kind of provide that kind of caution that it might be premature to revisit incentive levels and program design considerations right now. However, we would definitely urge that this does happen over the next year or so, once things have kind of settled, particularly on the federal front, and also we have a better look back at this capacity that was awarded. So I just wanted to highlight those points in addition to thanking you again for providing these opportunities for public engagement. And we're excited to keep the momentum going for community solar and achieving all the state's goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think we can all agree that community solar has been such a shining example, to use a pun, of the good work of this department and the governor's leadership on clean energy and on equity. So thank you. You know, we're really glad to hear you appreciate these opportunities. I think we all appreciate hearing from the public, and you know, giving members of the public the opportunity to talk with us in this setting is really important to this agency. It's important to transparency, and I think, you know, that's been a critical priority for the BPU, is ensuring that the public has both access and opportunity to engage on a variety of different topics. So thank you. I think that Charlie was our last speaker. Is that right, Lauren?
It looks like we have one more, Jasmine Metellus, and she is on, so I'm going to allow her to talk.
Okay.
Jasmine, you may now unmute your mic to speak.
I think you're still on mute, Jasmine.
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Thank you so much for having me on. I'm Jasmine Metellus. I'm the Politics and Government Relations Manager at New Jersey League Conservation Voters. We serve as the political statewide voice for the environment. And I just wanted to thank you so much to the BPU, the entire board, for your amazing hard work, and that we just need to continue a strong energy master plan to signal New Jersey that is continuing to lead into a clean energy future and our commitment to offshore wind to meet our climate goals. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Jasmine. Great closing to end on, I think. Assuming, Lauren, that is our last speaker.
Correct.
Okay, well, thank you everyone who testified, who listened in today. We really appreciate all of your comments and your engagement. Again, this is our last quarterly meeting of the year, and next week, Wednesday, is our last board agenda meeting of the year. I want to wish everyone a very happy and healthy holiday season. Hopefully everyone will get the time that they want or need to relax and rest and spend with their families over the next few weeks, and look forward to seeing all of you in the new year. Please do submit your written comments by the 17th of January at 5 o'clock. Do I have any comments or closing remarks from my colleagues? All right, well, we will see some of you next week at the board meeting. Otherwise, have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. Can I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.